Welcome to the road trip across America. We are in Ontario, ready to take off to Midway in Chicago. We'll talk a little bit about some of the opportunities around Midway in real estate, and then we're off to Cleveland. So here we go, road trip across America. We're leaving Ontario for Midway and then Cleveland. Well, the only way you can get to Cleveland is you got to get to Chicago first. So we're about ready to take off. We're in a very cool jet. We're in the back, which is a lot different than A-list preferred when I used to get the aisle seat there in the middle of the plane by the wing. Best seat on the jet, but things have changed as they do in real estate as well. So let's see what we're going to find when we get to Midway.
So actually, I'm not at Midway, I'm in Cleveland. But let's talk about the top pockets within approximately 3 miles of Midway and what strategy fits best in each of these areas. Let's talk about number one first, clearing around Cicero 55th to 63rd. There's a great White Castle and some other restaurants around there. Lots of single family homes. Many owners relocate for work very close to the airport. So there's an Airbnb focus, primarily single family homes, better suited for midterm stays, airline crews, contractors, maybe traveling workers. You'll probably have lower nightly rates in downtown. You're going to underwrite conservatively, check shared housing registration. You're going to have to do that in Chicago before buying, that's for sure. Wholesale focus in this area is strong because it's older. As a matter of fact, my relatives, my mom's relatives, and her mom live just miles away from there. Aging homeowners, estate sales, long-term owners with deferred maintenance, ideal for assignable contracts. As far as distressed rental focus, watch for boarded up properties, tax delinquencies, good BRRRR candidates if you can buy below the market. You're going to rehab, fix it. Solid long-term tenant demand from airport workers. So there's some good stuff there. Let's go to number two. Garfield Ridge. Garfield Ridge is primarily a single-family home area in smaller multifamily units. It's got a stable rental base. Your Airbnb focus probably works better as a midterm furnished rentals. Corporate stays more realistic than tourist Airbnbs. Again, you're going to have to verify those building and zoning rules. Wholesale focus. Strong pocket for distressed single-family homes. Driving for dollars is effective here. Anywhere you go, driving for dollars is going to be a key to your strategy. I want you to look for inherited homes and tired landlords. Distressed rental focus. 2 flat, small, multifamily units show up periodically. Strong buy and hold area. Stable blue collar and tenant based. Let's go to number 3. Archer Heights. Steady single-family market, lower entry prices. So there's more opportunity with the lower entry prices. You're going to need to drive for dollars for sure. Airbnb focus, weaker than other markets. Why? Because there's not that rental demand. It's best for conservative mid-term rental strategy, if anything. Short-term only if compliance is confirmed. Again, in the greater Chicago area, compliance is a big deal because socialists run that city. Wholesale focus, very solid, affordable price points, easier assignments. Look for vacant homes and probate situations. Distressed rental focus, good BRRRR territory, low acquisition costs. They improve cash flow margins, focus on cosmetic rehabs. Number 4, Bridgeport and McKinley Park, northeast of Midway. You're seeing a little circle. I've got about a 4-mile radius here. Closer to downtown, stronger overall rental demand. Airbnb focus now starts to change because the area around Midway can be a little rougher. But best Airbnb potential on this list. Proximity to downtown increases demand. That's the point. Closer, more demand. Corporate and visiting families perform better here. Registration is still required. Condo buildings often restrict STRs. So watch for restriction. Wholesale focus, less volume in southwest pockets, higher price points. Reduce those assignment spreads, selective opportunities only, but they're there. Distressed rentals focus, small multifamily buildings can work where? Well, higher rents support stronger long-term holds, more competitive market. You having fun yet? How about number 5, Brighton Park and Little Village Border. Now there's more working class stock there, periodic bargain opportunities. There is an Airbnb focus, limited traditional Airbnb appeal, better suited maybe for those long-term rental strategy, short-term only if the numbers are extremely conservative. Wholesale focus, strong distressed inventory. There are vacant properties, code violations. You see a lot of that happening. There's motivated sellers, good assignment spreads possible. Distressed rental focus. There's a high potential for value-add rentals, but heavier management required. So that's why you got to figure out how you want to do this. Whether you want to wholesale it out or you want to flip and fix, whether you want to be a part of that. So you're going to, with the heavier management, you're going to have to screen tenants carefully for budget maintenance. It's always a big part of managing rentals, is making sure that you're up to it. And then number 6, Ashburn, west and south overlap with clearing. There's affordable single-family housing stock, stable residential character. There is an Airbnb focus, primarily midterm rental opportunity, lower tourist demand. Works if targeting workforce, housing, and you have furnished rentals. Wholesale focus, steady, but not flashy. Best when targeting absentee owners. Look for pre-foreclosure leads. Distressed rental focus, strong buy and hold pocket, affordable acquisition with solid tenant demand. Good for long-term wealth building. So you're gonna have to figure out what strategy works for you best in those areas. For the short-term rentals, there's some legal must-knows. Chicago requires, and this is because of the politics, shared housing registration. Any rental under 31 days must be registered with the city of Chicago. Oh, to have government in all of my life. Non-compliance can lead to fines and license revocation. Always confirm the property eligibility, building rules, condo bylaws. So you got to figure out how to play by the rules. Don't assume approval. The demand near Midway comes from business travelers, airline crews, visiting family. But pricing and occupancy are lower than downtown Chicago. Makes sense. It's 30 minutes out. Run Airbnb comps, underwrite all, maybe 50 to 60% of the downtown rates, assume 45 to 55% occupancy. So you have to run the numbers and figure out if that works. Airbnb near Midway is possible, but compliance risk is the biggest factor. Your wholesale strategy on the southwest side, Well, primary targets: single-family homes, estates, aging owners. Plenty of that on this side. Been aging for a long time. Vacant properties, lead generation. Again, drive for dollars. You want to look for direct mailed absentee owners, probate lists, MLS price reduced filters, foreclosure notices. These are all the things that my mentor Todd Dotson talks about, and they're all very valid here. Confirm that contracts allow assignments. So do your homework, make sure you understand Chicago and the rules. In clearing, Garfield Range, Archer Heights, Brighton Park border zones, focus especially in those areas. As far as distressed assets, sourcing, you want to monitor daily from the Cook County Sheriff's foreclosure auctions. That is a really good way to do it. Judicial sale postings. See, just start diving in. Tax sale lists, Zillow and Realtor, foreclosure filters, primary zip codes near Midway. You'll see that on the slide: 60638, 60639, 60640, and 60641. Whenever you go to sheriff and tax sales, well, there's risks. You want to budget for title work, account for redemption periods, consult a local real estate attorney before bidding. So do your homework. Make sure that you're just not coming in not fully aware of what the issues are. Deal types that tend to work best near Midway: wholesale single family assignments. We find that that's the fastest entry point. BRRRR on distressed single family homes, strongest in Archer Heights, Clearing, and Garfield Ridge. The small multifamily value add, better in Garfield Ridge, probably McKinley Park. Midterm furnished rentals, strongest in Bridgeport, and pockets closest to the transit downtown. Whenever you have that, you want furnished things that people want to get in and out. Short-term rentals, only when fully compliant, again. And conservatively underwritten, got to be careful about how you're going to approach that. So, around Midway, great opportunity. Check it out. DM John Sarver, 951-847-0116. And let's find a way to work together.
Most investors chase the same zip codes in Chicago, but where's the real money? Well, it's an understanding where to wholesale, where to hold rentals, and where short-term Airbnb demand is actually strong. Today, I'm breaking down the best areas in the greater Chicago market. For wholesale flips, love them. Distressed rental acquisitions are always there. Airbnb short-term cash flow plays, that's the ticket. And we're covering Chicago Heights, primarily because I spent my first 3.5 years there, and then I was interested in what was available there. Then we're going to Logan Square, Avondale, Hyde Park, Inglewood, West Humboldt Park, Evanston, McHenry County, and Waukegan. So here's a strategy focus. Wholesale, always. Distressed rentals, probably. Selective Airbnb, when appropriate. Chicago Heights, let's start there. It's not a tourism-driven suburb. It's a workforce housing market with lower entry prices, stronger long-term rental fundamentals, and you're going to get that more than that short-term buzz. Why? Well, it's affordable. Acquisition prices, older housing stock, rehab opportunity, which tends to be blue collar, commuter-based tenants, proximity to Southland industrial corridors, nearby Bloom Township College, Prairie State College, supports steady rental demand. So you look at opportunities around there. particularly Airbnb plays. But you can't scale the Airbnb, so you got to be real strategic in dropping in with those. Short-term rentals here are niche, not mainstream, and they work only if they're very clean, safe, micro location. Means that typically closer to the colleges or major commuter routes. Fully compliant with local rental licensing, typically professionally staged and managed. This is not a Logan Square level demand. Expect modest occupancy and price accordingly. Best Airbnb angle, midterm rentals, and you get travel nurses, contract workers are visiting the faculty. Those are the kind of people that are looking at places like that. 30 to 90 day stays, lower turnover, less operational stress. The wholesale play is very strong potential in Chicago Heights. This is where it shines. Why it works? Lower ARVs because you can get in cheaper. Distressed inventory exists because it's older. Remember, I lived there 62 years ago. Estate sales, absentee landlords, tire rentals all play into it. The target, you want to find single-family homes under market, 2-room flats with deferred maintenance, properties with code violations. There's plenty of them. Ideal wholesale math after repair value around 180 to 210. Buy at, I'd come in at 50 to 55, maybe up to 60, 70 cents ARV, minus the rehab, sell to local flippers, buy an old landlords, the BRR investors, which we'll talk about in a minute. Inventory turns slower than hot Chicago neighborhoods, but spreads can be wider, which is perfect for wholesale. Distressed rental, the BRR buy, that's rehab. First you buy, then you rehab, rent, refinance, repeat play. A bread and butter strategy. So you want to buy dated, 3-bed, 1-bath homes. There's plenty of them there. Older brick ranches. We used to own one when I was a kid. Small multi-units. Rehab. You're going to do cosmetic updates, mechanical cleanup, rental license compliant, rent, strong, blue collar, tenant based, steady workforce demand. You want to raise rents to market after light upgrades. Results, solid cash flow, lower basis, less competition than trendier suburbs. Risk factors in Chicago Heights. Elevated crime pockets, and there is, it's older. Block by block matters, so you got to know the area. City rental inspection requirements. Property taxes must be analyzed carefully. Not appreciation driven like North Side Chicago. Older area, get in cheaper, usually not going to appreciate as fast. This is a cash flow first market, not a hype market. Bottom line, Chicago Heights, strong wholesale opportunity, a reliable long-term rental play, weak mass Airbnb market except by appropriate areas, colleges, commuter places, best for value investors and operators. Let's talk about Logan Square. I love that place. It's about 4 to 5 miles from downtown Chicago. As such, there's a high demand for short-term housing, strategy focus, Airbnb plus the BRRR, buy and rehab, rent, finance, repeat play, the most reliable strategy. Logan Square is one of Chicago's strongest short-term rental pockets. Why? Well, the walkability, restaurants, bars, coffee scene, not very far from where the Cubs play. Young professional demand, weekend visitors, in short, gentrification. The Airbnb play, 2 to 3 flats or condos near Milwaukee Avenue can perform well if you have them properly licensed, professionally staged, optimized for weekend stays. Nightly rates justify higher prices in this part of the city. Wholesale play,
Wholesaling here is tougher. Why? Because inventory is tighter, margins are thinner. Buy small multi-units with deferred maintenance, still gold. You can find some things there. Distressed rental play. You want to buy dated 2 flats, like cosmetic updates needed, raise rentals to market long-term appreciation and a strong rental base. Avondale. I know it well. I actually walked through Avondale on my way home from Wrigley Field in 1980. Strategy focus is midterm appreciation and the old BRRRR. Avondale is quieter version of Logan, but rising. Why? Well, there's a restaurant scene. Expanding younger demographic moving in means gentrification. More affordable than Logan. Wholesale opportunities. Smaller single homes. Now there's heirs selling, so there's opportunity there. Landlord fatigue deals. This is a sweet spot for assignment fees. Distressed rentals. Buy below Logan pricing. You update the kitchen, the bath, you hold for 3 to 5 years. You are playing with appreciation and rental growth. Airbnb possibilities, anything around that part of Chicago is, but you got to be selective. Works best, of course, near transit corridors. More conservative than Logan, but still viable. Lots of opportunity for gentrification in Logan. You gotta love Hyde Park. It's where gentrification meets a campus opportunity. There's campus and cultural demand. The strategy focus is stable rental demand, midterm Airbnbs. Lots of Airbnb plays there. Proximity to the University of Chicago, and that changes everything. Why it works? Well, you've got visiting parents, professors, medical professionals, students. What does that mean? Airbnbs, short-term rentals, best near campus. I find probably a half a mile to a mile. Constant demand, especially during graduation season. Lower volatility than trend neighborhoods. Now the wholesale play. Brick row homes with dated interiors, so they're going to need some fixing. Multi-units needing updates. Less flashy, more stable. Depending how close they are, you might be able to get into an Airbnb. Distressed rentals, long-term holds, those do well here. Tenant base is stable, lower drama, strong rental consistency. This is a place to look because you're close, you're in gentrification, younger people, a lot of people traveling in and out. Excellent place. Let's talk about Englewood. There's distressed wholesale opportunities in this little pocket south of Chicago. Strategy focus is deep discount wholesale, long-term upside, older area. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit. Englewood is not a light rehab flip neighborhood. This is advanced investing. You're going to deal with wholesale. This is where margins can be strong. Vacant homes, boarded up, vacant, just plain ugly. Attached delinquent, drive for dollars. Deep discount comps exist. There is a distressed rental strategy only if you understand management, you budget heavier rehab, you screen aggressively. Lower price basis, higher management intensity. Upside, well, targeted redevelopment. But this is a due diligence market, not beginner friendly, so you have to understand how to make that work. And then there's West Humboldt Park. Opportunity plus revitalization. There's a strategy focus here. Redevelopment, edge plays, you're looking at a corridor redevelopment, so it's very narrow. You got to be careful. You got to know the neighborhoods, new construction nearby, mixed community transition, wholesale opportunities exist strong when near active development. Buy on the fringe of revitalization. Now, that depends on your skill set, but definitely move out into areas that can be revitalized as you go. Distressed rental, buy older brick properties, heavy rehab, refinance after stabilization. Airbnb, yeah, you gotta be selective. More long-term rental play than short-term. This is appreciation positioning. Then there's Evanston, North Shore, Lakefront. Strategy focus, premium, short-term, and steady appreciation. Evanston is different. This is a stable, desirable, safe community. Why it works. The beaches, Northwestern University, visiting families, a lot of gentrification, opportunities for Airbnb, vacation demand. It's where you want to be. There's been a lot of revitalization around the college there. Strong in the summer for Airbnb, lake access, boost rates, lower drama than city neighborhoods. Wholesale, you're going to find less volume, higher purchase prices, smaller spreads. Rental hold, safe, long-term play, excellent tenant profile. It's a good place to live because you got gentrification, revitalization, you're by a college, you got a lot of opportunity right there. Airbnb's hot in that area. McHenry County, Lake Cabin Market, strategy focus where you're going to get a lot of weekly Airbnb cash flow. Now we're going a little bit outside of Chicago. Why this works, lake homes, cabins, weekend Chicago getaway market. Airbnb, you figured it out. Weekly rentals, they outperform nightly rentals. Summer bookings spike. Boating season drives revenue big time. Wholesale, you're going to find air properties, cabins needing modernization, outdated interiors, that equals opportunity. Long-term hold, vacation market exposure, seasonal swings, but high upside when optimized. And finally, Waukegan. Affordable Lake County play. Strategy focus. There's an entry-level investor market available close to Indiana Dunes, more affordable pricing. In the wholesale market, you're going to find 2-unit properties. Deferred maintenance is typical. Older landlords, so there's going to be stuff to work on. Exiting, good beginner assignment territory. Distressed rentals, plenty of them, buy them cheap, rehab properly, solid workforce tenant base. Airbnb, is there anything there? Selective. Lake access matters, anything with an anchor. It's going to be easier to rent. Not as strong as Evanston, but the entry price is much lower. So let's do a reality check as we close. This is important for credibility. Not all areas are equal for every strategy. Logan and Evanston, they're stronger short-term plays. Englewood is heavy, wholesale, advanced, skill only. McHenry, vacation, seasonal. Avondale and West Humboldt, appreciation positioning. Hyde Park, stable rental machine. So you have a lot of different skills that you're working here. Success depends on purchase price, rehab budget, management, licensing especially in the greater Chicago area, compliance to that licensing, and having an exit strategy. I can help. John Sarver, DM me 951-847-0116. So we are wrapping up the Real Estate Across America video here in Chicago,
As I'm on the tarmac, I'm dropping in a video because I couldn't hear my sound when I was actually on the plane. It was just too loud. And what we're doing is I'm taking a look at what is actually right next to the airport. So as we take off here, and we're just about ready to do that, we'll take a look at some of the areas that are right next to the airport, because my guess is they're houses between 1,000 and 2,000 feet, square feet. Typically, they are 2 stories and block after block of houses. Now, right by the airport, we're going to see that. So we are at the process of taking off right now, and off we go. We are in the air now. The windows, you can see some of the cracks and the lines in that right there, but then that clears up. And if you're taking a look right outside that window there, you can see that the homes are exactly what I thought they would be, and it's one after another. There's a lot of different, I think, areas around here, but the key is that there, are a lot of this opportunity that we've talked about goes into short-term Airbnb rentals for the staff of airlines, things like that. Give it a real solid opportunity for you to invest. Now you can see outside the window here, Chicago, and so it's not very far away from Chicago, about 4 to 5 miles. It seems further because it's so dense. It's so dense with people, but the opportunities are endless as you take a look at some of the different areas that we have talked about. So a lot of really neat and interesting opportunities here in Chicago. The other thing I noticed as we were pulling out is as you start going west, the areas change from these dense blocks, house after house, row house after row house. Reminds me of All in the Family, way back in the 70s. These were row houses. Every house looked the same. Very small lots, 2 stories, probably about 2,000 square feet, 1,000 on the bottom, 1,000 on the top. You see that one after another, and then all of a sudden, you see what I'm looking at now is different pockets of neighborhoods that open up bigger lots, set up differently. And you see that, and then you bounce right back into some of those other areas. But within a 10 to 15 mile radius, there is just an unbelievable amount of opportunity in Chicago. So go check it out. I'm back home. The trip across America was extensive and busy. We started in Ontario, went all the way to Midway, and that's where we were really talking. The whole Chicago land area is what we were referring to, but some of this was filmed actually in Cleveland, and then back closing at Midway, and now we're back home. So a lot of opportunity. You can see here in the picture, we're at about 8 to 10 miles, and obviously there is tremendous opportunity going west. Of course, you're going to find different types of inventory there, but still something worth your time to check out. So check it out, make some money. DM me, John Sarver, 951-847-0116, and let's have a conversation.